So, with all I just said, what I've come to realize is people do not like the Sabbath, not because of it, not because it's the Sabbath, but it's because of the rules that comes with keeping the Sabbath. Let me tell you why I say that. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Welcome back. This is Joe TV, and today we're back to talk about something interesting. Now, today's topic is gonna be about why I believe that this is the reason why I believe most Christian churches or mainstream Christian churches do not like the Sabbath, or I should say the seventh day Sabbath. Now, let me start with this. Even though I just said that, I don't actually believe they don't like the seventh day Sabbath. I think it's more of they don't like the rules that comes with the seventh day Sabbath. So let me explain. Um, there is a growing sentiment of people using the Bible to disprove the sacredness of the seventh day Sabbath. Now we call Saturday, saying things of that nature. Um, it's abolished. It's not a moral law anymore. Um, we don't have to keep that day holy anymore. Or some would say, well, we keep Sunday because Jesus was resurrected on the Sunday. And some will say all kinds of things. And from what I understand is those are all about coping with the idea of not obeying God's words. For instance, they want to use, some want to use Romans, I believe what chapter it was, talking about one day esteem, one man may esteem one day above all other days, another esteem every day you like. And I'm thinking, why would you use that verse when in fact the whole chapter is about eating and drinking? Nowhere it mentions the keeping of the Sabbath in that chapter. It's all about eating and drinking. Some would use Colossians chapter 2 verse 16, saying that, because Paul said, let no man judge you in concerning food, drink, and Sabbath, or Sabbath days, plural. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. It says Sabbath days. It's plural. When God refers to the seventh day Sabbath, he never says Sabbath days. It always says Sabbath day. Now, granted, keeping the seventh day Sabbath will not save you. Yes, we know that. The same way, not using God's name in vain will not save you. Not murdering, not committing murder will not save you. Not coveting will not save you. None of those will save you. But what I do realize is people want to preach all the 9 commandments, all the 10 commandments, but one of them, which is the seventh day Sabbath commandment. Saying, well, Jesus, nowhere in the New Testament it was mentioned. True, there was no mention of keeping the Sabbath in the New Testament. But what I also did not see is the keeping of a different day. Nowhere it mentions to keep Sunday. Because if you're going to choose a 7 days, whatever day you want, anybody can choose any day. They can choose Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday. I mean, they can keep any day of the week, right? Because there is nowhere it says to keep Sunday in the New Testament. Now, some will say, well, Acts chapter 20, verse number 7 said, on the first day of the week, they were gathered in the upper room, da 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 da. I get it. What they fail to read is when Luke wrote that part in the book of Acts chapter 20, he specified something very interesting and something very telling. It said there were lights or lamp at that time, meaning they were on. Actually, when Luke wrote that in verse number 7, it says, and upon the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread, Paul preached unto them, ready to depart on the morrow, and continued his speech until midnight. Now we have more saying Paul preached unto them. When it says Paul preached unto them, does that mean it was a worship service, like a normal Sabbath worship service? Or let me put it for your perspective, a Sunday worship service? So even to tell me from morning, then when church begins, all the way to midnight, Paul was preaching there. No, but there is another key verse they don't read. Next one on your screen. And there were many lights in the upper chamber where they were gathered together. What does that tell me? What that tells me is, whenever it said on the first day of the week, remember, the day of the week begins, or the day in general begins at sunset or sundown, evening. Bible said in chapter 1 of Genesis, it was a evening and it was a morning. That was the first day. So the day begins at sundown or evening, when people turned on their lights. And Luke said there were many lights in the upper chamber. So it couldn't be a Sunday morning worship. It would have been a night gathering. Now, we can take it in a biblical sense of the first day, meaning Saturday night, because Sabbath begins Friday at sundown and ends Saturday at sundown. So when Saturday comes and it's sundown, it's Sunday, or the first day of the week. So we understand when the Bible said it was the first day of the week, it wasn't a worship service time, it was Saturday at sundown, meaning it was Saturday night in our common term. So with all I just said, what I've come to realize is people do not like the Sabbath, not because it's the Sabbath, but it's because of the rules that comes with keeping the Sabbath. Let me tell you why I say that. Because when you read in the Bible, Jesus said in Isaiah chapter 58, verse number 13, on your screen, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing your own pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing your own ways, nor finding your own pleasure, nor speaking your own words, then shall you delight yourself in the Lord, and I will cause you to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. What that tells me is, it's not about the day that they don't like, but it's the rule. Don't do your own pleasure, don't even think your own way, and don't do whatever you want to do on my day. It's my day, and you should be thinking about me. How many people would like to do that kind of stuff? Not many. Even I, as a Seventh-day Adventist, it is not that easy to not think of other things but God. It's very difficult. And I don't understand why people that are non-Seventh-day Adventists can see it as, oh, this is rigid. This is they use a term. They use a term. It's not rigid. It's more. It's a harder word. I forgot the word of it. Um, but it basically means we are not doing it according to the mainstream media. Okay. Legalistic. Yes, that was the word I'm looking for. They call us legalists because we decide to observe the Sabbath. Now understand, when you go to church on Sunday and then there's a game Sunday afternoon, you just go home and turn on your TV. Or you just go to the kitchen and start cooking. You want to do your homework? Sure, do your homework. But you realize that if they were keeping the Sabbath, they would more likely refrain from watching their sports, shopping, doing homework, cooking and cleaning that are unnecessary. That's why I believe most people, most churches do not like the Sabbath. And it's not because of the Sabbath, but it's because of the rules they don't like about the Sabbath. God said to rest from your work, do your work for 6 days. But because on the seventh day, that's when you get more. Let's say you have the dress, $100, and it's on sales for $50 on Saturday. They will buy on Saturday. When people are trying to use the Bible and misusing it, it's not just that, it's deeper than that. There is something beneath that they do not want to give up, because if they give it up, it's going to be hard for them. And I think that's where it will come when it comes to the mark of the beast. You will have to make a decision whether you want to give up certain things. If you want to keep the Sabbath holy, you're going to have to give up on many things. And the idea of not giving up your own ways because you don't want to observe the Sabbath, because God says you cannot do this and this and this and this and this, and because you like doing this and this and this and this and this, you would rather use every excuses as possible not to keep God's Sabbath. The church is yours. So guys, these are the reasons why I believe that most Christian churches do not like the Sabbath. Again, if you like the video, don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. And of course, you can share it with your friends. It was Open TV. Hope to see you guys again. Until then, bye for now.